We live in a world that tells us, every single day, that we should be happy. Smile more, think positive, buy this, eat that, go here, be there. Don't worry, be happy, they say. But have you ever wondered why happiness seems so temporary, so fragile, even when we finally get what we want? What if the very act of chasing happiness is what keeps us from actually feeling it? Jiddu Krishnamurti, one of the most radical thinkers of the 20th century, once said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." And when it comes to happiness, our culture might be sicker than we think. We've been conditioned to believe happiness is something to attain, a destination, a goal, a reward for working hard or thinking the right thoughts. We set up milestones. When I get the job, I'll be happy. When I find the right person, I'll be happy. When I travel, when I have more money, when I fix myself, then maybe I'll finally be okay. But here's the problem. Every time we make happiness a goal, we make the present moment a problem. Think about it. If you're chasing happiness, you're already admitting you're not happy. You're telling yourself right now is not enough. And so you resist the moment. You reject what is. You create a conflict between what's real and what should be. Krishnamurti observed this clearly. He said that the desire to become something, to become happy, to become enlightened, to become peaceful, is the root of psychological suffering. Because that desire divides us. There's me now, and the better me I'm trying to become. That gap between the two, that's where anxiety lives. That's where self-doubt grows. That's where unhappiness feeds. Let's say you go to a therapist, you say, "I want to be happy." They might ask, "What would make you happy?" And suddenly, your mind jumps to all the things you don't have. A better relationship, a higher paycheck, less anxiety, a thinner body. And you walk out not lighter but heavier. See the trick? The pursuit of happiness often shines a light on everything we think we're missing. And in that spotlight, we start to feel broken. But what if we were never broken to begin with? Krishnamurti didn't offer quick fixes, no vision boards, no gratitude journals. He invited us to look deeply at how we're living. He said, to understand the immeasurable, the mind must be extraordinarily quiet, still. Not quiet because it's forced, not still because it's told to be, but naturally quiet, because it's no longer chasing. Real happiness, if you even want to call it that, doesn't come from chasing. It arises when we stop running, when we stop escaping, when we stop turning life into a series of conditions that need to be met. Krishnamurti's radical suggestion was this: can you simply observe your mind without judgment? Can you notice the urge to chase without feeding it? Not suppressing your desires, not pretending everything is fine, but being fully present with whatever is. It's in this moment, raw, unfiltered, unedited, that something shifts. You're no longer trying to be happy. You're just aware. And in that awareness, there's a strange kind of peace. Not the fireworks kind, not the social media kind, but something deeper, something free from conditions. Because when you're no longer at war with the moment, you don't need happiness to come from outside. You begin to touch something real. And maybe that's not happiness in the traditional sense, but it's alive, it's honest, and it doesn't go away the moment your circumstances change. The world will keep trying to sell you happiness. Self-help books, wellness retreats, motivational quotes, all pointing to some ideal future where everything is finally perfect. But Krishnamurti would ask, who told you you're not already whole? What if the problem isn't that we're unhappy, but that we're obsessed with not being unhappy? And in that obsession, we miss the very fabric of life. You walk past a tree and don't see it. You eat a meal and don't taste it. You sit with a friend but don't hear them, because your mind is busy calculating how far you still are from being happy. But what if you just stopped chasing, stopped fixing, stopped trying to make the moment something other than what it is? Krishnamurti called this choiceless awareness. It's not passive, it's deeply alert. It's the kind of presence where you're not labeling what's happening as good or bad, happy or sad. You're just seeing. just feeling, just being. And from that state, something real can emerge. Maybe not the high of achievement, maybe not the thrill of a new purchase, but something still, something steady, something true. Here's the thing, you don't need to be happy all the time. That's not a real life, and that's a fantasy. Real life is messy, it's confusing, it's uncertain, and Krishnamurti wasn't afraid of that. He believed truth, and even beauty, can only be found in the messy, unfiltered now. So maybe the path isn't about getting somewhere. Maybe it's about stepping off the path completely, looking around, taking a breath, letting go of the constant search, and realizing this moment, the one you're in right now, doesn't need to be any different. And maybe, just maybe, that's where peace begins. You don't have to chase happiness. You just have to stop running from what's here. Let's be honest, this idea of not chasing happiness, it can sound strange, even threatening, because we've spent years, maybe decades, trying to figure life out. Setting goals, planning 5-year visions, reading the next self-help book that promises to unlock the secret to joy. So when someone like Krishnamurti says, truth is a pathless land, it rattles the very structure we've built our lives on. No path, no steps, no method. How do you live without trying to become something? We're not just addicted to happiness, we're addicted to becoming better, smarter, kinder, healthier. It sounds noble, even spiritual, but underneath it all is fear. Fear that who we are, right now, isn't enough. Fear that if we don't keep striving, we'll fall behind. Fear that stillness means failure. But Krishnamurti invites a completely different kind of question. Not, how do I improve myself? But, can I observe myself, just as I am, without judgment? That's where the shift begins. Not by chasing a better version of you, but by noticing how the chase itself creates conflict, observation without direction, awareness without agenda. This isn't passive. It's not giving up. It's the courage to face what's actually happening inside you, without trying to change it, manipulate it, or improve it. Most of us don't really look at ourselves. We analyze, we criticize, we compare, but we rarely just see. And that's what Krishnamurti called choiceless awareness, seeing what is, without trying to become what should be. This internal voice, always measuring, always calculating, it's the same voice that keeps telling you, happiness is just one more step away. But the closer you get to that step, the more it moves. It's a treadmill. And the real trap? Even your pursuit of spiritual happiness can become another form of escape. You meditate, not to see clearly, but to feel good. You do yoga, not to connect with the body, but to improve the body. You practice gratitude, not to be present, but to fight off pain. And suddenly, you're not living, you're performing peace. Krishnamurti warned of this. He saw how we turn even the most beautiful practices into achievements. But the truth is, you can't achieve silence. You can't earn freedom. You can only become aware of the prison you're building, moment by moment. The question is never, how do I get to happiness? The real question is, can I be present with what is, without needing it to change? Can I feel lonely and just feel it, without rushing to distract myself? Can I feel joy without trying to hold on to it? Can I feel sadness without turning it into a personal failure? This is where something radical begins to happen. You realize you don't have to fight life. You don't have to fix every feeling. You don't have to chase some ideal emotional state. You can simply be. And when that happens, not because someone told you to, but because you saw it for yourself, there's a kind of intelligence that awakens. Not the intelligence of logic or argument, but the intelligence of clear seeing. And in that clear seeing, the anxiety begins to lose its grip, not because you tried to overcome it, but because you stopped feeding it with resistance. Krishnamurti didn't give people answers. He gave them space. Space to question everything, including their most cherished beliefs. And maybe that's what we need now more than ever. Not more tips and tricks for happiness, but the willingness to pause, to be still, to look. So, where does this leave us? If happiness isn't something to chase, if it's not at the end of a path or buried inside some better version of yourself, then what's left? Just this moment, this breath, this subtle awareness of being alive, without needing anything added to it. It's not always pleasant, it's not always joyful, but it's real. And Krishnamurti's point, over and over, was this: reality, when seen clearly, has its own beauty. Not the kind you post on Instagram, not the kind that comes with a dopamine rush, but a quiet beauty, the kind that doesn't ask for anything, the kind that just is. True happiness, if we can even call it that, isn't something you create. It's something that arises when the mind stops grasping, when you're not resisting, not striving, not measuring your life against some imaginary standard. It's not dramatic, it's not flashy, but it's free. And isn't that what we're really looking for? Not the next high, not the next achievement, but freedom. From fear, from pressure, from the constant story that says, you're not there yet. Krishnamurti never offered a formula. He never promised bliss. He simply asked, can you be with life exactly as it is, without escaping? Because in that stillness, something opens. Not happiness maybe, but presence. And sometimes, that's even better. Maybe the deepest joy doesn't come from seeking. Maybe it comes from seeing, clearly, quietly, and completely, that there's nothing missing from this moment at all. Inspired by the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti, thank you for watching.